What's the cringiest teenage phase you went through? There was a time in my mid-teens where I could grow my sideburns out, but no other facial hair to accompany it. I thought the sideburns looked cool on their own, but upon further review, they did not. I loved WWF growing up. I had a couple of cassettes with some of their walkout music. If my mom was sitting around with her friends, I would put on a song, usually Stone Cold, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, then proceed to walk out acting like them, standing on a random item and raise my hands to the crowd. I would take it as far as I could before the embarrassment took over, and I would hide in shame. I'm a super white ginger dude who is not cool at all. I used to wear a gold chain in high school and actively studied on how to be hip. I hate it, I hate thinking about it, and I hate you for making me think about it again. I was that guy trying to be as random as possible in an attempt to be funny. There were a good few years during ages 12 to 15 where I tried to convince everyone, including myself, that I was a robot. I have no idea why. I had all these explanations as to how I grew pneumatic bones, and how my brain was actually a computer. During Truth or Dare, my biggest secret was always I'm actually a robot. So cringy. Everyone thought I was trolling, but to be honest I actually believed it myself. Now looking back, I kind of view those times as undiagnosed mental issues that presented in weird ways, but by God everyone thought I was the weirdest person ever, and I don't even blame them. I did something similar. I acted like I was an immortal. I wasn't talking to people and telling them I actually live forever and have been to college and had multiple jobs. It was always a little comment in a casual conversation. For example, friend, I don't know how I'm gonna survive college. Me, trust me, it's not that bad. That was something I did in high school freshman year, and I don't think anyone really understood what the heck was going on with me. I used to quote depressing lyrics on MySpace to let my girlfriend know I hated being with her, but I didn't have the balls to break up with her. When she would ask why I wrote that, I'd bluff and say it's just a song, lol. Edit. To clarify, she was cheating on me, but I had been with her a long time and was stupid/naive. I wrote poems and songs about my boyfriend, now fiance, when we first got together in our early teens. He still has the damn papers and hides them from me, so I can throw them away. I cringed so hard remembering the shit I wrote. Suicidal, existentialist, goth, poet with an interest in witchcraft, tarot cards, vampires, etc. The whole enchilada. I really left no cliche unturned. I have no idea how I got so far down that rabbit hole, since I didn't even know anyone else who was that into this stuff. Pretending that I was an alien disguised as an earthling sent to this planet to observe humans through friendship. I don't know how those who became my friends during that phase stayed my friends. Also, I'm thankful I don't remember much of it. I used to say I was a metalhead, but I only listened to System of a Down. I had a Korn poster in my room, but I didn't know a single song of them. When I thought my sexuality was my personality, I wiped everything from my social media accounts purely because of all the cringe. Classic rock/metal phase in early middle school. Back then I found out my crush, who was 4 years older than me, liked Pink Floyd, so I thought that letting him know that I listened to them too would get him to notice and talk to me. So I drew the Dark Side of the Moon album art on an A4 paper with colored pencils, because I wasn't able to print it, and I wasn't able to buy any merch, and put it in my binder, and just kept walking past him while holding the binder. Spoiler alert, that didn't work. Crushes on teachers and actively pursuing my coach romantically while I was under 18. He leaned into it a bit. I think he liked the attention and flirting, but looking back, yeesh. Essentially led to something when I was 19, but I was just grossly persistent and embarrassing. Makes me think about how clearly unfinished my brain was. Being a scene kid, walking round town listening to Blood on the Dance Floor with a free hugs sign, and yelling raw at people telling them I loved them and I know so. I cringe at the thought of it. What was I even thinking? I would literally punch someone in the face if someone did that to me now. I was an otaku who said unironically Nyan and called all my friends their names, but ended with Chan. Thank God it was just a phase. I used to draw X's on my knuckles because I thought it made me hardcore. I used to wear big ass bulky headphones and Vans hoodies everywhere, even during the summer. TBH, I think it was a result of my insecurities regarding my self-esteem, so I covered everything up, so no one would have to see how awful in my mind I looked. I was overreacting. I still have that feeling to this day though, and it's unfortunate. Is self-righteous a phase? I was utterly convinced that, because I did volunteer work, that I was a good person. Despite my behavior being generally douchey and not particularly nice. It ebbed eventually. Luckily being a douchebag doesn't have as much picture evidence as some of the other phases. My shock humor phase. Most of my jokes were dirty and offensive. It made people laugh middle school, but I was trying too hard. It's still a part of my personality, I just don't do it as much. Being a scene kid. But don't you dare call me scene kid, because labels are for soup cans. But also please, I'm so desperately trying to be seen and acknowledge that, just not out loud. RAWRXD. A girl I went out with asked me to grow my hair long. I complied. She eventually left me, and I thought, hey, this girl likes men with long hair. Pretty sure others do as well. Nope. I wasn't successful with women until after I got my hair cut. Thinking back, my hair was quite silly. Mid-90s ruder boy scap, long, plaid skater shorts, dress shirt and suit jacket, dumb hat, skank circles. I was not and currently am not attractive. However, I was in middle school when the pop the collar, wear a random ass tie around your neck for no reason phase was super popular. I wear cargo shorts and MM Twins t-shirts exclusively at this time. I showed up to school wearing a untucked, button-down shirt, Hollister t-shirt, American Eagle shoes, and a random ass tie around my neck. Girl I had a crush on approaches me before I even get to my locker and says, "Looking good, Scott." I open my locker, look in my mirror, sigh, and took off the tie. Never wore that shit ever again. It was a shameful day, but one that I'm still proud of in the end. The depressing poetry. I was 14 and that was deep. When I won't wash my hair. I can't even give you a good reason other than laziness. I also had bangs. So they were always greasy and made my forehead break out terribly, and I wondered why no one wanted to be my friend. /Facipen. Bandana tied around head with knot at the front. Was real into Tupac, but nobody told me I was a white boy from a rural farm community. No. I went through a white pride phase in middle school in the 1990s. It lasted about 2 months. I was hanging out with a group of normal kids who slowly became racist and then white supremacist, and I went along. I guess I was socially racist. Cringe doesn't even begin to describe it. Fun fact, of that group, 2 are now dead and the rest married people of other ethnicities. Video game addiction. That caused me to miss out on some potentially good memories and fed into my social anxiety. As an example, a cute girl in my prequel class was like, "Jonah, who are you asking to homecoming? I may just go with friends unless someone asks me." While I'm sitting there thinking about Knights of the Old Republic or something. I was a huge Smosh fan and shipped Anthony, inherited a Anthony blog, evolved into shipping Thorky, began rollerplaying as Thor, began writing dirty incest fanfiction about gay sex despite being a virgin without a deck. Climbing dangerously high buildings and objects, attempting self-taught parkour, sometimes with my hood up. I was a big Assassin's Creed fan. I cringe because I look at some of the things I climbed at 12/13 thinking, holy frick, you were so stupid, you could have easily freaking died. Never had any serious injuries, thankfully, just the odd grazed knee or bruise. Early 2000s thug/hype beast. Forced my parents to buy me all the stupidly expensive clothes by rappers. The brands mattered so much to me, and I thought they mattered to others too. I would legit count the total hash of brands I owned constantly. I also wore a slanted headband and tucked my cuffs in my socks. I even tried to learn patois at one point. I did go to a ghetto school, but my upbringing wasn't ghetto at all. Twilight Saga phase. can't wrap my mind around the idea of why I thought it would have been a good idea to whip out the good old Photoshop CS2, desaturate my skin, overlay yellow over the eyes and upload that shoot onto Facebook as a profile picture. Didn't look anything like a Cullen vampire at all. 10 to 13. Extremely Jewish phase. Then I realized all of it was to make other people happy, not me, so I stopped. 18 to 19. Star Wars / GD night phase. I went for the hippie braided hair and beard look, wore a GD robe, became vegetarian, carried a lightsaber, talked about sensing disturbances in the Force, and the girl I was dating was mostly unaware of Star Wars and thought I was developing schizophrenia. Not me but a friend. She would carry a brown paper lunch bag with mixed nuts in it everywhere she went for a few months. Constantly talking about her brown nutsack. She really committed to that joke. In high school, I was obsessed with Jersey Shore and tried so hard to look / act like a cadet. In Missouri, I'm not even the slightest bit Italian. Middle school I was a weeaboo furry, but thank God I kept it to myself. I rejected emotion as an option when responding to things, and when my own mother even approached me with an even slightly emotional response I would cut her off to say that's an emotional response. Let's talk when we can both speak logically. That phase lasted a few months before I finally got back on track and understood emotions are good.